Welcome to the best guide on YouTube for how to survive the early game in World War III. In this video, I'll show you how to defend against every threat, manage your resources like a pro, and share priceless tips that will help you defeat enemies without taking a single loss. No losses? Is that even possible? Yes, absolutely yes. With my strategy, you'll survive the early game and then lose whenever you choose to. Let's get to the show. The idea is simple. For both offense and defense, we build one wave of combat recon vehicles and corvettes. These units will buy us the time we need to mobilize strike aircraft. And in the best case scenario, we might even capture one or two neighbors. Keep in mind, we only build a single wave of CRVs. Anything more will eat up too many resources. So, what do we need to do? This strategy is designed to give you a strong foothold in the first 3 days. And the research order goes like this: recon vehicles, air superiority fighter, corvette, and finally, any strike unit. That could be a strike fighter, helicopter gunship, or elite attack aircraft. Early on, focus only on units with 30-minute research times, and start mobilizing them instantly. Our goal is to turn the enemy into a pancake as soon as possible. Don't even think about other units right now. To pull off this hyper-aggressive plan, we build army bases and recruiting offices in every city except the capital, if you play as 6 or more cities nation. The capital is reserved for air unit production only. Then we need to set up arms industry. But resources are tight, so we won't be building in every city. Focus on cities that produce fuel, rare materials, and electronics. The capital and one coastal city, where corvettes will be mobilized, should also have arms industry. In total, this will be 3 to 5 cities max. Don't spend a single resource upgrading arms industry in cities outside this list. And for the love of strategy, never upgrade all of them to level 3 in early game. Once you've kicked off mobilization of your first and last wave of CRVs, start gathering them near your target. Of course, I recommend keeping a few units at home for defense. Even the most aggressive strategies need a safety net. After your arms industry construction finishes early on day 2, it's time to start mobilizing your air superiority fighter and upgrade your airbase to level 2, assuming you're going with fixed-wing aircraft like I am. I'll explain why ASF should be your first air unit later, but for now, just trust me. After that, begin construction of a level 2 naval base. Once it's complete, immediately research and start mobilizing a corvette. Your economy won't love this. That's why you should hit the market for fuel, rares, and electronics. You can also place lowball buy orders and cross your fingers that someone's feeling generous. The main thing, don't waste resources on researching infantry. The starting batch is more than enough to steamroll opponents non-stop for the first 10 days. If you followed the plan correctly, by early day 3, or late day 2 if you're lucky, you'll have a 10-unit stack ready to knock. Ideally, that's 7 CRVs and 3 infantry. If it's just 6 CRVs, it's still fine. Now take that stack and start erasing your target from the map. One city after another. My vehicles are armored and built to flatten infantry. Just look at the unit stats. It's a no contest. Infantry doesn't stand a chance against armor. But CRVs aren't a one-hit wonder. They'll keep delivering value later as garrison in conquered cities, scouts, and your special forces on massacres. To speed up expansion, use motorized infantry to grab provinces and hold cities. You can even capture provinces ahead of your main stack to shorten the march to your next victim. If everything's gone according to plan, by mid-day 3, you'll have a corvette and 2 air superiority fighters ready. Don't let them collect dust. Get them in the action. In this particular run, I splurged on a level 3 airbase, and will start researching elite attack aircraft soon. But you could take another route. Skip the fuel expense and buy more rares for an early strike fighter or helicopter gunship. Just mobilize aircrafts continuously till day 20. Let's move on to the tips that take this guide from how to survive to how to vaporize your enemy. Starting with the basics. Always use your fighters to scout enemy cities. This will reveal current enemy battalion positions and give you a clue about their composition, whether it's infantry or armor. Don't forget to scout your surroundings too, especially coastal zones and obvious invasion routes. Occasionally you'll get lucky and catch an enemy in the water with your corvettes. If that happens, try to engage in a direct battle. You'll double the destruction speed. Bonus points if you catch enemies mid-transport, like a duck in migration season. Enemies make these mistakes in every match. You just have to exploit them. Sometimes it's enough to simply patrol over their airbase. This is ideal for destroying troops without losses. But what if your opponent isn't asleep at the keyboard and is mobilizing just as hard as you? That's when you meet them on defense. Defensive structures like outposts and bunkers reduce incoming damage and are your best friends here. Outposts are cheaper and, unlike bunkers, the rest of your city's buildings won't get damaged during combat. Territorial buffs are also your secret weapon, especially for motorized infantry. They get a plus 25% defensive bonus when stationed in forests, cities, or suburbs. Use it to your advantage. Sometimes it is better not to wait for the enemy in the city, but to go out into the province and intercept the enemy there. And finally, don't forget about the city or province center. Units positioned right on the center take 25% less damage when defending. Stack that with terrain bonuses and outposts, and you've got yourself a discount fortress. In the example from the video, I'm using all three factors. My units are taking 48% less damage thanks to the outpost and central positioning, plus another 25% defense boost from the forest terrain. That, my friend, smells like victory. The truth is, early game wins often come down to who gets caught on defense and who doesn't. Also, don't sleep on military logistics. It's dirt cheap, builds in just 3 hours, and starts giving you a speed boost as soon as it reaches 50% construction progress. I'm using it here to speed up my troops and intercept an enemy before they can turn my city into a smoking crater. Just keep your resource stash in mind. It's effective, not free, but can help repel invasions on multiple fronts. So always keep this building in your arsenal. Same goes for the rush command. In some cases, when you absolutely need to reach a key location in time, hit that button. It boosts your unit speed by 50%, but drains 5% of their health every hour. Use with care. You'll get there faster, but you might end up hurting your own unit more than the enemy ever could. In this case, I'm rushing to intercept an enemy division defensively. I've also parked my troops in the center of the province to reduce incoming damage. However, you won't always need to rush. Keep in mind that your CRVs have a base speed of 1.3, while infantry only moves at 1. In some situations, you can split your CRVs from the main division and send them ahead without using rush at all. When the enemy is bringing a large division to attack you, meet him on defense. But if the enemy is the one turtling in a city, attacking head-on will likely hurt you more than help. In that case, hold your fire and wait for your air units to mobilize, which I trust you're producing at the moment. Meanwhile, try to find another victim and go grab one of their cities. No big deal for you, your real job is buying time. By day 4 or 5, your strike aircraft will be ready. And by day 6, you'll be able to wipe out entire divisions of 10 units without breaking a sweat. But once in a while, you'll run into a crafty opponent. The kind who tries to bait you into a trap. Usually they step into your province waving their division around like bait, then start falling back the moment you give chase. Their dream is that you follow them all the way into a well-defended outpost. But after watching this guide, it's not you who'll be fighting for survival. It's everyone else once you enter the map. If you have the upper hand, let them step deeper into your province to get the movement speed debuff. Then hit rush and chase them down. Thanks to the speed difference, you'll catch them in a face-to-face engagement and obliterate them with your CRV fist. Also, don't be shy about using the retreat button when necessary. For instance, if you see one of your units dropping to critical health and likely to fall in the next engagement, pull it back and send it to the hospital. After a few days, you will be able to use this unit again. It's thoughtful troop management. In certain situations, instead of retreating, you might be better off splitting your division into 2 parts. Let me show you a little math trick. I'll admit, it's boring, but I'll spice it up with some dramatic music so it feels like something important is happening. I clicked on the health bar of my motorized infantry division. There are 4 units, each with 15 health points, totaling 60. But after taking damage in battle, their health dropped to 46.8. When it hits 45, or in other words, the health equivalent of 3 full units, I'll lose the 4th soldier. That means even taking just 1.8 more damage would wipe out my priceless unit. Now let's see what happens when I split the division in 2 parts. I end up with 2 battalions of 2 units each, and their health becomes 23.4 out of 30. This means one of these smaller stacks would only lose a unit after taking 8.4 more damage. Splitting the division boosts the endurance of my minions, though it lowers their overall strength. And in this particular battle, that's not going to happen. so I've just saved myself from losing a troop. Feel free to use this tactic occasionally, but only when it makes sense. If the enemy is twice as strong and you split your forces, you'll just lose them faster. Now that we're done with ground operations, let me show you two features, or should I say, bugs, with air units. Imagine this. Your enemy thinks he's about to land a clean hit on your troops. Not so fast. If his aircraft attacks a target within your fighter's patrol zone, he takes damage, while your fighters remain untouched. How does this work? When the enemy launches a direct strike on units parked in a city center, your fighters automatically deal damage, using their defensive stats, but they don't take any damage in return. As a result, the enemy loses health, while your planes don't. How to use it? Simply set up a patrol that overlaps the enemy's attack area and watches his aircraft crash against your invisible wall. Interestingly, in the mobile version, the planes have an animation similar to anti-air activation. Is it a bug? Maybe. And it possibly will be fixed someday. But as long as it works, use it.
The second air trick is engaging in combat without direct contact.
As you can see, my fighter entered combat with British infantry, because at the exact moment he attacked Dublin, I was patrolling directly over the spot where his battle with the Irish battalion occurred. The key idea is this. During a melee engagement, if your aircraft is within a distance of 5 from the battle, it can participate in the fight without being sent for refueling. Of course, this trick won't come in handy often, but it's worth keeping in mind for when the stars align. Now let's return to my earlier statement, that your first air unit should be an air superiority fighter. You'll frequently encounter players who start spamming their own ASFs from day 2. It's not uncommon to face a wing of 3 interceptors early in the game. In such cases, having your own fighter jet ready makes things significantly easier. Here, you can see a battle between 3 German ASFs and my squad of 2 ASF plus 1 elite attack aircraft. Thanks to damage distribution, I survived the first strike and managed to dish out serious punishment. After surviving the second attack, I then hit the enemy while he was grounded and took down one of his planes. Unlike my opponent, I'm flexible. I strike both air and ground targets with confidence. That should be your goal. Always aim to take out enemy aircraft while they're refueling. If you succeed, you've basically won the war. If that's not an option, consider researching and building mobile anti-air. They're not fast, but they get the job done. Once you survive the first week, all you really need to do is build a hospital in your capital, a second airbase, and start mass-producing aircraft, both naval and regular strike fighters, elite attack aircraft if you have them, and air superiority fighters of both regular and naval variety. You could substitute helicopters for strike fixed wings, but I highly recommend producing ASF no matter what you prefer to build. If you're doing everything right, by day 20, you'll have 5 strike wings and 2 ASF wings. Of course, to boost your economy, you should eat your enemies like a wild animal. As for ground units, all you need is anti-air and radars. Begin infantry production around day 10, but almost every rare material should go into your air force. However, sometimes you may need to pivot. Maybe you'll need a fleet or additional air defense, so stay flexible and adjust your game plan accordingly. Here's a sweaty challenge for you. Capture your first opponent using your CRV wave, and do it without taking a single loss. I've done it in 3 of my solo campaigns, so yes, it's possible. You're ready. If you've made it this far into the video, you deserve to hear the real pro tip for early game survival. Just enter the map with your skilled friends in a coalition and let them backpack you to the finish line. Flawless strategy. It always works. No friends? No problem. Create a coalition in-game, but don't invite randoms. Open player profiles from the mobile version. Pick the best by KD ratio and let them carry the match for you. The guide is finished. See you soon.